And one of the things you keep saying that I've seen is people are the country's extremely divided, so much divisiveness and vitriol, and one of the things you keep saying is it's not about right or left.
Yeah.
Like, you're missing the point if you're still tied up in these ideologies that are Republican or Democrat or left or right or conservative or liberal.
In the military, I went in after 9/11. I joined in 2006, and you supported Bush. You just supported Bush. Even when I got out, I was just, because I moved back to like the West Texas area. I was like, I'm Republican. It's oil field.
Yeah,
I went to the oil field, so
Yeah.
I like just kind of automatically was that, not really caring about the policies.
Yeah, you just adopted that sort of, right?
Yeah. So everything that's and at the time we had Obama, so I'm just supposed to disagree with everything he does.
Yeah.
And it's all. It's all coming from the same place.
Yeah.
It's all coming from the same, whatever you want to call the thing.
Yeah.
And you can just literally see it every single day. Shit's being thrown from this side, shit's being thrown from this side. And really, the left is attacking the left by making you hate the right, and the right's attacking the right by making you hate the left. And you're being attacked by your own people.
It really doesn't matter where you're getting your information from. It's like, can you trust anything? Can you get, I'm asking you this really because you might know the answer that I don't, but where can you get real news that's unbiased now? Is there a place?
Well, they don't hate us because, if you think about it, what do they hate us for? Our freedom. Because what freedom, really?
Right.
They hate us because we can go have $8 beers at the rodeo, and my girlfriend can sell pictures of her butthole on OnlyFans. Like that's what, like they want to bomb us because of that.
Yeah.
Because I did have not really hated Muslims, because I've always had Muslim friends, even in Iraq and Afghanistan when I've been there. But my friends were killed.
Yeah.
So I did have and I've joked. I mean, I still make jokes, right? I pay attention to everything.
Yeah.
And I think you have to.
Okay.
I can't take people serious that say like, I have a buddy that tries to argue with me like, well, I don't listen to liberal media. Like, well, okay,
dude, I don't understand.
So you
that
have
either.
one. So you're literally admitting to
Stuck
having
in your
one
echo chamber.
You have one point of view. You admit
crazy.
to it.
Yeah.
At some points, it feels so tense and so scary that it can literally take one Molotov cocktail in the right place to do.
Damn.
And I don't want that to happen. No one wants that to happen. But
what?
I mean, look what's happening.
It's like a
right, a chain. Yeah, like it's
one spark could set it off.
There is a point.
It feels like that.
There is a point where it's always happened. It's happening now around the world where there is a breaking point. Yeah. And it happens so fast. You and I are doing this podcast and we go outside and holy shit.
That's what it seems like it could happen.
You know what I mean? Like they took over Fort Concho.
Guest is a musician. He's from Miles, Texas. He's also a journalist. He's about to graduate, going to school in San Antonio. He's back here for a visit. We're going to talk today about what's going on in the Middle East. We're going to talk about music and some upcoming things that are happening at Fifi Dubois. This is an explosive conversation. This is my old friend, Flip Barrientos.
We rise, we inspire. Forged by fire. Turn the pressure into power. For real. Fuels burn. Yeah, we rise, we inspire. Forged by fire. Turn the pressure into power. For real.
Hey guys, if you're just joining us, so this is a good friend of mine. This is my boy, Flipesius Barrientos. Good to see you, man.
You too, man. I forgot about Flipesius.
Flip. Anyway, so we're going to talk about some cool stuff. So Flip's about to graduate with a degree in journalism. He's a musician. He's done a lot of different things. You've done roofing. You've ran little business, all kinds of stuff. But one of the biggest things that you're kind of on track with right now and that you're doing, you have a podcast, but you're talking about basically the American dream, or redefining the American dream. So explain exactly what that means and where you're going with that.
Well, I'm finding myself in a position like you and I just talked about, where I'm fixing to graduate. I'm 40 years old. I'm also a convicted felon. I'm also a veteran. I have all these things that I've done for a short period of time, and I'm kind of from here to, from town to town, from wherever I want to, here in San Angelo to San Antonio, to not knowing where I want to go. And then I look at my parents who are both immigrants who've come here looking for the American dream, who are kind of, I'm like, is this the American dream?
Yeah.
And, I've talked to some friends, and recently that just came up without, like, my buddy that I'm going to see in North Carolina, like, what are you up to? What are you doing? Just living the American dream. And I'm like, well, what is that?
Yeah.
Like, what is it to you? And, what does that really mean?
Exactly.
Because I thought, I serve this country, I get some free education, I'm kind of struggling to, if I wanted to use my degree, like I said, I'm a felon, I'm not really hireable. You see the stuff I post, I have my opinions are way out there. So I'm not a really good Fox or CNN candidate, Standard Times, Joe Hine probably won't hire me,
No, probably not.
So,
dude, somebody, some of those companies look for that, though.
Right, but I don't want
to
to do that for anyone.
Thank you to Maximus Nutrition for sponsoring the show. Maximus has some of the best nutrition and supplementation in the Concho Valley. Take it from me, as a strength coach for over 10 years, I've shopped there and got all my supplements from there. There's two, in fact, that I'd like to personally recommend to you. One is a good protein supplement called UMP Beverly International. It's got one of the highest bioavailability rates, so your body actually absorbs like 90% of the actual protein instead of like 60%. The other thing they carry is methylene blue. It's a really cool supplement. Do some research on that one, but it helps with mitochondrial energy uptake. So it helps you to recover faster, have more energy and focus in the gym. So thanks, guys. Maximus Nutrition. They've got two locations, the one on Sunset and the one on Knickerbocker. I want to thank Winter the Barber, our newest front-end sponsor of the Matt Cottrell Report. Winter the Barber is located at Fresh Cuts, which is in the Sunset Mall right across from Marshall's. Winter does it all. She specializes in men's cuts, beards, she does waxing, the works. You got to go see Winter. She also does the little kids. She's got great rates, also does walk-ins. Winter the Barber, tell her Matt Cottrell sent you. I want to thank the San Angelo Performing Arts Center and my good friend Yuki Kunuyuki for sponsoring the Matt Cottrell Report. SAPAC is really great for San Angelo and the Concho Valley. Guys, the more we get out and watch live performances, whether it's a comedy show or live music or anything they put on over there, it's going to help our community grow with the arts and culture. So thank you, SAPAC, sincerely, from the Matt Cottrell Report. We hope to see you at a show.
You know what I mean? Like I'm in a position to like I don't have any money. Like I'm not when I say I'm in a position, I'm in a like I don't like I'm not just free to do what I want, but I'm in a position in my life where I want to find out these questions. I'm not really concerned about going to work for a paper to go chase their stories about some shit that I don't care about.
Yeah.
I want to find, talk about the Middle East. I spend a lot of time in the Middle East.
Yep.
I want to talk about, corruption in the prison system. I want to talk about some of the corruption that I've seen, in places, and some of the others, just not just corruption, but other things that I've been through, man. Just life in general. There's a lot of, I went through 40 years of my life like real quick.
Yeah.
And here I am. I'm like, what happened in between? What was all that?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what I want to do. I don't have I don't want to write a story for anybody. I want to,
Yeah, I like though that you're looking to speak and write and investigate from your experiences. You know what I mean? Like you said, like. In the Middle East, like you've been to the Middle East or the prison system, like you've done time, and using your experiences to kind of to go down that trail that you've already been down and figure out why things are the way they are. Yeah. But one of the biggest things that like really strikes me about you is that you have very strong moral conviction, and whenever you want to pursue something, you're not swayed one way or the other. Yeah. And you have some out-of-the-box thinking, which I think is so important. And one of the things you keep saying that I've seen is people are the country's extremely divided, so much divisiveness and vitriol, and one of the things you keep saying is it's not about right or left. Yeah. Like you're missing the point if you're still tied up in these ideologies that are Republican or Democrat or left or right or conservative or liberal. And I think you're right, dude. It's much bigger than that. Yeah. And so explain that a little bit. Like why do you think that some people are still so tied up in that? You know what I mean? And why are they missing the point?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with identity, and that's really weird to me because, for instance, in the military, I went in after 9/11. I joined in 2006, and you supported Bush. You just supported Bush.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there was no, like, we didn't have a good friend of mine who I bump heads with a lot. I served in the military with my second deployment. He made a good point that day. He said, we didn't pay attention to the news back then.
That's right. Yeah.
We didn't know what was going on. We were told what we were told to do from our higher ups.
Yep.
And so what was the question? I'm sorry. What was
Yeah. So, like
why is it so? I was talking about the identity, and so that's right. We didn't pay attention, but now it just seems like even when I got out, I was just, because I moved back to like the West Texas area. I was like, I'm Republican. It's oil field. I went to the oil field, so I'm like just kind of automatically was that, not really caring about the policies.
Yeah, you just adopted that sort of right.
Yeah. So everything that's and at the time we had Obama, so I'm just supposed to disagree with everything he does.
Yeah.
And then once I started kind of just what started with me is a few years ago is I got incarcerated, and I have right now I'm going through a process of a complaint about it because I was incarcerated very unfair, and because I was on parole, I didn't have to have a trial. There was I was sort of forced to sign a waiver that eliminated my right to appeal and all kinds of stuff, and I didn't know this, right? So we can talk about that later. But anyways, around then is when I started asking, okay, well, so why do these things happen? Okay, prison systems, private prison systems are funded by companies. These companies are funded by this, they're funded by that. And when I started finding out like where all these things are kind of branched out to, you're like, okay, so this is connected to BlackRock, Blackwater. And like, okay, so what are these things connected to? Yeah. And then I really started just finding out that it all just leads to the same small group of people. These billionaires, these elite, these people that are literally running our country. And so then you start to go start thinking about what is it like, what's their agendas, and it's all it's all coming from the same place. It's all coming from the same, whatever you want to call the thing. And you can just literally see it every single day. Shit's being thrown from this side, shit's being thrown from this side, and really the left is attacking the left by making you hate the right, and the right's attacking the right by making you hate the left, and you're being attacked by your own people. Yeah,
that's right, dude.
You're literally being attacked by your own people, being told lies. Like I just got an argument with this guy I get an argument with people about the Quran all the time. Okay, if you're saying that this is in there, and I've studied it, I haven't read it, I don't memorize it, I don't think people should, I don't like, hey, let's convert to Islam. I'm doing it because I'm tired of people telling me it's bad.
Exactly.
Never
read it for yourself. Exactly.
If you never open it, I don't want to. I'm
That's
done.
exactly how I feel, dude. I'm like, if you haven't taken the time to do that, like, where are you basing this opinion from?
Exactly. Yeah. So I'll show you a text later. I was going to argument. Basically, it was I don't think you can form an opinion if you're using AI and you're throwing out AI junk all the time, and that's your opinion. And I ask you a question and you give me an AI answer. You're not formulating an opinion.
That's right.
You've literally just you've given that ability up.
Yep. You're letting that do the thinking for you.
And so I'm like, okay, close your eyes and repeat what you just copy and paste it. I mean, you can't.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yeah.
So
dude,
it's hilarious, dude. It's sad. And so, but anyways, this guy was arguing with me, and at the end, I said something like, "Okay, so where did you get this exact?" And I have a Quran because I study it. Yeah. And I know he's never even seen one. I said, "Okay, go get your Quran. I'm gonna get mine. Show me exactly where it's." And it could be in there, Matt. I'm not arguing that. Yeah. But if you're telling me it's in there, I want you to tell me what's in there, right? Yeah. And it's something bad. Basically, he's saying they're devil worshippers. Like, okay, show it to me.
Okay, yeah.
Right? And then at the end, he said, well, the news shows it to us in all caps. He goes, and then he says, what does it matter? We know what they do, or we know whatever. And I was like, really? That's your answer at the end.
Wow.
You argued with me that you can use AI, that you are formulating your own opinions, that all this stuff that is in there, you're 100% sure, and your answer to it was, the news shows it to us, in all caps.
Yeah.
That's your answer.
I know. That's pretty bad, dude.
And I'm like, you just argued with me that I was brainwashed for watching CNN, which I don't watch CNN.
Yeah.
You get all your opinions from CNN, you're so brainwashed. I'm like, I don't watch it at all.
Yeah.
And then you go back and says, we know Muslims are bad because of the news.
Yeah.
Okay, well then we can't have an argument.
I know, exactly, dude.
Where did you get that?
People are so brainwashed by
yeah.
that,
And
by
look, man,
whatever they're
I'm not
watching.
defending it.
Yeah, I understand
We have
that.
problems.
Yeah.
We have a huge migrant issue.
Right, yeah.
Get it.
Yeah.
The Biden administration. Okay, where did those orders come from? Where did that come from?
What orders?
Well, I mean, or to open the borders. We'll open the borders.
yeah.
All this crap from the Biden. Where did this come from? It wasn't. People want to go. Well, follow the money. It's Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. They run the country. Dude, they don't have $1 billion together.
Right.
You're not
You're
running.
saying it's the shadow government, the elites, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers.
But everyone agrees that. But then that's it. It's Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, it's the Democrats, or it's whatever.
Right.
But we'll keep digging.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you stop there.
Yeah,
like,
no, they're just puppets,
yeah,
right?
Good job, detective. Like you
I know,
solved nothing,
yeah,
right?
exactly,
They don't have $1 billion combined.
No,
You're not running the country with $260 million.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's another thing is people just don't. You get told what to think, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Like I'll give you another instance. I keep getting arguments about this Iran deal. It's 47 years of. Is that as far as you can go back? Go back to 1953.
Yeah.
Because you can't have you can't have the hostages without 1953.
Right. Yeah.
By us, putting in puppet government.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now we're trying to do the same thing. It didn't work the first time.
Yeah.
Didn't work the second time.
Exactly.
It hasn't worked anywhere. Regime change hasn't worked anywhere.
We've seen that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we're being told every other day that we've won the war, that they have no air superiority, that they have no weapons, they're shooting down our planes, that the Strait of Hormuz is going to be open. It's open in a minute.
That's the problem, I think, too, is it really doesn't matter where you're getting your information from. It's like, can you trust anything? Where can you get? I'm asking you this really because you might know the answer that I don't. But where can you get real news that's unbiased now? Is there a place?
Well, Matt, that's a tough one because one of the things that's real tough about one of the things that I've been looking into. I'm making a transition from journalism to maybe psychology.
Yeah.
Because I've been really looking into the psychology of propaganda.
Nice.
And
do you know Chase Hughes?
I do. Yeah.
Nice. I love that guy, dude.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Guy.
I actually was just listening to something earlier this morning.
Yeah.
And
you can turn that. You're gonna have to catch the episode, guys. That's a little teaser for you. All right, cool. We'll shut that off for now. Thanks, Dad. Yeah.
Chase Hughes is great.
Dude, I love that.
But
dude,
I'm looking more into the. Because I'm done looking at the conspiracy theories.
Okay, yeah.
Because you discredit yourself by, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then people say it's conspiracy theories. It's all discredited and it doesn't really. So everything's a conspiracy theory. And once you label that, it can just never be real, right? But the things that are happening are like they're actually happening.
Exactly.
But you put that tag.
Yeah.
But I'm looking more into the kind of the psychology of why these things are created, why it happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you know? He talks about the fate model.
The fate model.
Focus, authority, tribe, and emotion, which is any way to control any population. He says any mammal. Chase Hughes. He says you get their attention, focus, and then you establish authority.
Yeah.
And then basically tribalism, which is. Your brethren, whoever believe the same way, think the same way. If you have a group of people that all agree that that's the way it is, then that really strengthens the message or whatever.
Right.
And then emotion, appeal, and usually being the strongest is fear, is appeal to some type of either anger or something based in fear.
Yeah.
And you can literally sell anything to anybody, you manipulate them in any way with that model.
Right.
And if you look at social media and with the divisiveness and all that, that's exactly what's happening. It's engineered, you know? And he was asked a question. They said, do you think it's being engineered specifically, intentionally? And he said, I don't know if it necessarily is. It's more like a product of the algorithm that's really just built with the sole purpose of increasing revenue for businesses, and it just happens to perpetuate this divisiveness,
So there's something called the Ramsey theory.
What's that?
And what the Ramsey theory is I'm just learning about it, so I'm gonna kind of dumb it down because it's really it's a little complicated. It's basically if you have enough factors in any given situation, you'll be able to find patterns, and it's almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
Right. Like the most simplest one is if you have 4 stars and 3 of them do not line up in a line, it's 100% going to be some shape.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
The book of Moby Dick. People have found. I just found this out about last week that if you take the book Moby Dick, which was written way before Martin Luther King was killed.
Yeah.
It has cryptic messages that actually says Martin Luther
really?
King assassination,
Yeah.
all this weird stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it's a huge book, huge letter. I mean, a whole bunch of letters, a whole bunch of punctuations. So if you take every letter and every pattern and every whatever, you find. It's easier to find patterns, and once you find those patterns, you can use those patterns to confuse people. So, for instance, like you said, these things might not be engineered, but things happen, and so those things can be taken and used to confuse people.
Right.
Like, for instance, I'll give you an example off the top of my head. The Alex Priddy shooting, right?
Okay,
That was the second shooting in up north, right? The guy with the kick the car ended up getting a scuffle, getting shot.
Yeah.
That thing can go either way. If you're honest with yourself, that could go either way, whatever, right? You can argue the left, you can argue the right, you can whatever. But immediately, the Trump administration started calling him putting tags like a domestic terrorist. Right away.
Exactly.
They use the word brandished a pistol, and this is one thing that you can
brandished a weapon.
Brandished a weapon. So this is one of those things that okay, I'm talking to a mass media guy.
Yeah.
What does the word brandishing mean? And when they define it, like, did the guy brandish a weapon? Because brandishing is you're showing a weapon, you have it out.
Yeah.
Didn't even reach for it, right?
Yeah.
So you use these things, and then people start thinking like, oh well, I have this one guy in San Antonio. He almost wanted to fight me over it. He was brandishing a weapon in all caps. I was like, dude, look up the word brandishing. Just look up the word. You've never used the word in your life. But all of a sudden,
dude, that's interesting.
All of a sudden,
we adopt. I'm not going to say they because I've done it too. But we adopt these words that are intentionally used, like you're saying, right, to create something in the mind that makes you think that it's worse than it is, or
it's
so intentional.
Islamophobia happened the same way. You can look back now and see that it is like, regardless if you still want to be racist, you can be racist, but there's no denying that we definitely push that narrative
100%
to scare us, to make them hate us, to hate them,
Exactly.
And I know a lot of Muslims.
I do too.
And I've been around bad Muslims, and overseas, or Arabs, or
I'm
whatever.
Sure,
but it's and it's a very small group of people that are the bad ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is.
But also, a thing like, okay, so all they're pushing is right now Islamophobia again, Islamophobia, the Muslims, those dirty Muslims.
Right.
And for me, I'm like, okay, how many Muslims have been implicated in the Epstein files?
Exactly, right.
It's Christians and Jews.
Exactly, yeah.
Why don't you say anything about Christians or Jews?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the first time you talk about Christians, you hate your country, and if you say anything about Jews, you're anti-Semitic.
Yes.
But I can call them dirty Muslims all day long.
Crazy. Yeah. That's right. Exactly. So it's like they shut it down immediately with that. Is anytime you question anything. Like you're saying, if they're Christian or Jew, you're anti-Semitic, and it's just, even if you're just asking questions,
right?
And then you're labeled as that, but at least it's getting to the point where it's become so consistent that now it's like it doesn't even hold water anymore.
Well, it doesn't hold water, but it also does create real anti-Semitism.
Yeah,
and it creates real hate.
Yeah. So
that's where that's another part of the psychology, because now they did the heavy work. Now, America hates. There's so much real anti-Semitism.
Yes, you're right.
You know what I mean? So the whoever's doing that shit, they don't even have to do anything no more. We got them to hate them.
True. Yeah.
They can hate them for and then they'll switch to everyone's. Remember when we started hating Asians for whatever reason?
Yeah.
So then Dave Chappelle does that joke. I think at Arabs he goes, in behalf of the black community, thank you for taking the heat for a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I know what you're talking about.
So it's like I joke with some of my buddies. I was like, which who has oil and who's brown? That's what we're gonna hate next.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, it's true.
Right, it's pretty true.
So
man.
Speaking of Iran, dude, I just had a guy on. He's a veteran.
Did
you watch that?
Yeah.
I wanted you to see that because I wanted to talk to you about some of that. So, what are your thoughts on two questions? Really, let's start with the first one. What is Iran? Are they a direct threat to America? Like, let's say with proxies in South America. Whatever.
One thing I do want to say before, because I have this a lot, and just because I was in the Middle East, I'm not an expert, right?
Yeah.
But I do study it.
Yeah, I know you do.
I don't have a full-time job because this is what I do.
I know, exactly.
I'm reading. I'm writing.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, the Middle East, dude, if you just look at the history of what has happened in Iran since the very beginning, you just start going through. I mean, it's all bad shit from hostages to bombings to Hezbollah to terror. Yes, they do fund terrorism. We understand, but so do we.
Yeah,
right. So do we.
Yeah.
If you go back to their problems, they don't hate us because, if you think about it, what do they hate us for? Our freedom. Because what freedom, really?
Right.
You know, they hate us because we can go have $8 beers at the rodeo, and my girlfriend can sell pictures of her butthole on OnlyFans. You know, like that's what, like they want to bomb us because of that. They hate us because, and I know this because I've talked to them. You know, in Iraq and Afghanistan. They hate us because we're fucking with them.
Right. Well, that would make sense. Yeah.
Their whole lives.
Yeah.
The people that are grown up now, since they were kids, they grew up with us giving them crippling sanctions to where their economy has to be corrupt.
Yeah.
We've replaced every single person in the Middle East. So if you just look at what we've done, we've just done it.
That makes sense.
We've caused a majority of the issues in the Middle East. Mm-hmm. People argue with me about Iraq all the time. Dude, listen, okay, I get it. If he's bad, let's go get him because he's bad. But I thought, me as a 19-year-old, he had something to do with 9/11.
Exactly, right? Yeah.
I'm going over there. My friends are dying. That's what you told me.
Fighting for that, right? Yeah.
And then it's funny because we all knew. I asked I was listening to that podcast. Jason, right?
Jason, yeah.
He said how
they were joking around about it.
Yeah, we were joking about it, but he said something about they'd rather send a soldier than expensive equipment to go fly. So I was watching because they have engineers. We have engineers too, but I was infantry. We did the metal detectors ourselves. Yeah. And not taking anything from him. His job is absolutely. Dude, we loved engineers. Anytime we found ideas, they came and blow them up.
Right.
But one time, my third day in Iraq, my team leader, he came and we stopped. Usually we stop because something's going on or because we're meant to stop there and you pull security. Everybody's told to stay in their vehicles, and my team leader comes. I'm brand new, dude. He doesn't know me. We've hardly ever talked. And he opens the door. He goes, "Hey, are you married?" I said, "No." And he goes, "You have kids?" I was like, "No." He goes, come with me." And so I go with him, and we go 40, 50 meters down, and I'm like, "What are we doing?" He goes, "We're looking for something." And we get down to his vehicle, and we're looking down about 10, 15 feet in front of us, and we're getting closer and closer. And I'm like, "What are you looking for?" He goes, "They think there's an ID on that bike." He goes, "Well, why did they send us?" He goes, "We're expendable."
No joke, dude.
He goes, "Neither one of us. We're the only ones."
Wow. Yeah. God.
Dude, so I was like, dude, I gotta get married. You know?
Dang, that's crazy though.
Yeah, but that's but going back to the Iran deal. We fell for the same trick.
Yeah.
Weapons of mass destruction.
Right. Exactly.
There's definitely, you can definitely argue that the, Obama giving him, signing his policies for atomic weapons, and Trump, tearing that up. You can definitely argue all those things, but if you instead of arguing, if you look at those things, you can see just how it was all worked together. It was like, hey, I'm gonna look like the bad guy for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I have a question. So do you think it's like this? Like, listen to this. So my theory is it's like, with each administration, like whoever comes in, you have the shadow government in the back, the billionaires who are really controlling the long-term game, let's say in the Middle East, whatever. And so Trump comes in, or Obama, or whoever, and they're like, okay, your administration, Bush, you're going to go after Saddam. We're going to take him down. We're going to infiltrate. We're going to go there. And then the next president comes in. They're like, okay, here's your part of the plan. You're going to go in and you're going to attack Iran. Do you think it's like that?
Well, in 1995 or 6, there was a memo called the Clean Break Act, and I've done a 4-part series on there, and I haven't published it. It's only like 4 or 5 pages, but it's been there for a very long time, and it's continuing to be used now. And what the Clean Break was, it was written for Benjamin Netanyahu, who was the newly elected prime minister at the time.
Okay.
And it was written by Douglas Feith and a bunch of neocons who were just warmongers before Bush came in, right? And before Bush Jr. came in, and what they're trying to figure out, like, okay, there's been an illegal occupation in Palestine and Gaza. Israel's been, since the Nakba 1948, they expelled a bunch of Muslims. It's it's been noted that it is documented that it is an illegal occupation. No one's really doing anything.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, hey, listen, you got to be nice to the Palestinians because the Arabs want to kill you. All these Arab states want to kill you.
Yeah.
And they're like, or we could say, we're not going to do that, and we attack all of them, and then we don't have to be nice to anyone, and we don't have to give Palestine their land. So if you look at the clean break, which was written in 1995, and then it was presented to Benjamin Netanyahu, and then all these guys, the Dick Cheneys and all that, who are part of it, are now under Bush's deal. So what it was is basically they're gonna, if you look at it, look at clean break, it literally tells you the countries they're going to topple over. Syria, Libya, Lebanon, blah, blah.
Yes, that's what I want to read this.
With Iran being the top one. And I've been saying this for the last 2 years. I've been when people like, after the 12-day war, people were like, it's over. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It can't be. So right now, there is no end. Right now, there is no end to the Iran. This is the last gunfight for them. This is the last chance possibly that Israel has. If you go back and look at this and take into account also the Greater Israel Plan, which the Greater Israel Plan is the land that was promised to the Jews by God. That is very, no one really knows what and who and whatever. But if you take that and you take those two things, and they're literally, these are two things that are literally used. Benjamin Netanyahu has showed the plan of the Greater Israel. The IDF wears a patch that has the full map of the Greater Israel. So if you look at it, they have all the land
all the way to
from
like
river to sea to the Euphrates, parts of Iraq. So yes, I think that since the neocons, since this was written back in I think it was 94, 95, represented in 96. If you just look at that and read it, 6 pages.
Long-term agenda.
And you look at the control that because I don't want to believe that other countries controls, but if you look at what if Israel does control this country or through Israel or whatever, it all just makes sense that each president, each time someone's come in, it's another puppet. And like Trump, how he pushed no wars, right?
He got elected on that.
I supported him, and I believed him. I kind of still believe that he didn't want it. But if you just look at the guy, and I don't want to accuse anybody of anything. Something's not right.
You're right.
You either got blackmailed, or you're protecting someone really close to you.
How? I mean, do you think how reasonable is it to think that he's in the Epstein files and he's being blackmailed by Netanyahu?
Billionaires with money, that can have anything that they want. If you just look at what all these, not just Israeli honeypots, but Russian honeypots, and all these, women and sex have always been used to control men. That's like our weakness. You know what I mean? And I can just see, dude. I mean, I've made oil field money and thought I was the king of Twin Peaks. You know what I mean? I'm in there with the $3,000. Like, I'm buying everything.
Exactly, dude. Imagine at that level.
Imagine you got billions of dollars, and I can just I don't know. But I can just imagine your mind is not
right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You put yourself in a position, even with millions of dollars, even with $100,000. I mean, I know people with $100,000 that are. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I don't think it's an impossible deal. People want to think it's an impossible deal because they support it so much, and I don't want to see anyone go down for something they didn't do. But there has been stuff that he's done, and has said, and that has been always brushed off. Even grabbing by the pussy, I brushed that off.
Right, I know.
You and I did.
Yeah, I know, dude. I know that. That's what it's like, because of the things he was saying and running on. We were in support of, and we wanted to happen. That you were willing to brush that off, but it's like it just kept getting crazier and crazier, and now it's to the point where it's like the religious stuff and all that. Like, dude, I just cannot get behind that, dude.
I can't either, dude. It doesn't. And you know what? At a time, I probably could, man. Because I did have not really hated Muslims, because I've always had Muslim friends, even in Iraq and Afghanistan when I've been there. But my friends were killed. So I did have and I've joked. I mean, I still make jokes, right? I still. Some of my favorite jokes are Norm Macdonald's 9/11 jokes, right? His 9/11 jokes are just like, I gotta laugh at it, right?
Love that guy.
And so there's jokes. There's even, he does an episode called Hitler's Dog, which is not about Hitler at all. At the end, he ends it with about the dog about Hitler. So, there's ways to joke about it, but I don't know, man. It's the religion deal now that I'm questioning stuff, you know, it just doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel right, and if it doesn't
know.
feel right, I'm at the point where like it's probably not right. I
Right.
also don't. I don't know if you noticed, you know, some of the stuff. I also didn't push it too much. I made a quick
Yeah.
joke and I said, because then you said I thought it was a doctor. Okay.
Oh, the Jesus
Yeah,
thing?
and I
yeah.
said Dr. Jesus Trump, and
I didn't even see that.
it's just something stupid. And then
Yeah.
I said blockade because he's saying we're gonna close down the strait. Like we don't run the strait right
know.
now, bro. We're not winning this war.
Yeah.
They shut it down.
Yeah,
you know what
we
I
don't
mean?
have anything. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I made a little joke, but I haven't pushed it because and that's what they want us to do, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
for sure. Oh, yeah.
and if you really think about it, even if he's not on the Epstein list, let's say he's not.
Yeah.
He's protecting people that shouldn't be protected, and he's
Yeah.
probably done some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's probably done some shit.
Probably. Yeah.
And it could be.
I don't know.
It could be corruption. It could be money laundering.
Yeah.
You know, and Tim Dillon said, "Just say it. We're not gonna care.
I know.
If it's money laundering at this point, we're like, whoa, thank
Well,
God."
exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
like
If it's money laundering. Yeah.
But you know, if it's like something stupid, like, dude, just do it, dude.
Yeah. I just can't get what's hard for me to understand, I guess, is like these, you know, people have such a tie to a political figure, like such
Yeah.
a fealty, like a loyalty that no matter what they, you know, it's almost like a religious leader, like they view him, and it's
Yeah.
like shouldn't your morals and like what you stand for, you know, be more important than some political, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
shouldn't
yeah.
at some point you have to look at what is going on
Yeah.
and really check yourself and be like, am I in line with this? Like,
Right.
so I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's gonna happen with
It's
with
scary,
anything,
dude. It really is scary. Because you know, seeing him as a you know, religious deity. I mean,
Yeah.
there was I don't know if you saw this. There was a group that worked with the military. It's a religious group, kind of a whistleblower kind of deal, where they had people from the military saying that they're being told that Trump is anointed by Jesus to rain hell on Iran.
Yeah. Are you talking about whenever the war started? This
Yeah,
round?
yeah,
And
yeah.
They were saying that the end times or whatever.
The end times are
yeah,
coming.
yeah.
Like, that
so that
should
was a
not-
real thing, right? They actually said that to
They
these.
said that.
That's
But see,
crazy,
dude. We'll go. So I'm gonna answer your question in a minute about the news because we went off. But
Yeah.
this is
Oh, yeah.
this is important. I've been a bunch of us have been saying that since the beginning. Since we found, if you look, the whole thing for Israel is a religious war.
Yeah.
They want that land.
Yeah.
They want that
I
land.
believe
They're
it.
gonna get it.
Yeah.
And there's a reason that there's multiple reasons why they keep their nuke a secret. It's not a secret. We know they stole
Right.
it from in Hershey, Pennsylvania. I think 1967.
Wow.
They stole our nuclear capabilities. There was I forget the guy that was under investigation.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
they stole.
Yeah.
They stole.
Because they're not technically, they technically don't have it, but they do,
but
right?
they
It's kind of
do,
known
right,
that they, yeah,
right.
okay.
So they do and they don't, whatever.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy is the last 2 days there's been 2 people that have pretty much admitted it.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons why it's a secret is there is, I forget what the policy is that's part of the, you know, the whole proliferation treaty is you cannot send money, any kind of aid to a country that doesn't have that has undeclared nuclear capabilities.
Whoa.
So if Israel were to officially say, well, hey, dude, how much money have we been sending them? They've had these weapons since
Exactly.
1967.
Yeah.
So the money technically is illegal, the money we've been sending them.
That's crazy, dude.
You know?
So much, yeah.
I'm going to go back to the question, but
Weird.
the reason I went on a tangent is it's hard to know what is real and what is
know.
not. Because right now, it's no secret that mainstream media is being bought out.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Larry Ellison is now looking at buying another chunk of him and his son. And I mean, people aren't asking why. It's really weird. Why do you want to
Wow.
own? Why do you want to own everything? Why
Yeah.
own everything? So it's hard to tell what it is going. Like CBS, definitely don't listen to them no more.
Really?
But
Yeah.
I always have. They had 60 Minutes, right?
Yeah, I
That's
know.
one of the greatest
Dang,
things
that
ever.
sucks, yeah.
Right. So you don't
Wow.
know once you start realizing. But I'm also trying to kind of think ahead
Mm-hmm.
and something that's happened, and you and I know this, and because we're doing it, is independent media.
Yeah.
So if you know, like in my mind, I'm thinking I'm let's just say the CIA, right?
Yeah.
And I'm pulling the strings with mainstream media, but damn, the Americans are catching on to the mainstream media.
Yeah.
What's popular? Independent media.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, let's get them, right?
Yeah.
So it's just really weird. And this is gonna like sound crazy when people that know me, they're like, well, you talk about Tucker and you use Candace all the time.
Yeah.
They can also be, opposition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they could, because it is confusing a lot of people.
Well, what do you think? So I'm really paying attention to what they're saying.
I am too.
You are too.
I am too.
I feel like they're seeking the truth. But what you just said, what if they are compromised too? Like we just don't know.
Well, I feel like we've always, in some way, been told the truth. This is another reason why I don't like saying any more conspiracy theories, because once you tag it, it's a conspiracy theory forever.
Yeah.
But I feel like they've always told us certain truths to get the people with the, like me and you, to be like, hey man,
I do too.
And then we just sound crazy, right?
Yeah.
But then all you got to do is confuse people for 50 years, like they did with the JFK files,
right?
And then everyone's dead. It doesn't really matter.
I know. Yeah.
What happened? I mean, other than let's say the biggest conspiracy is that it's Israel.
Yeah.
The only thing that's going to happen is like, whoa, hey, so they lied to us since then. They're lying to us now, and we would probably not go crazy. I think we got enough brainwashed people to be like, oh, well, they're still, they can do whatever they want.
Right.
But that's dude, that's a scary thing. So I don't know, but I'll tell you what I don't. Jeremy Scahill, he's a guy that I listen to. He's an independent, a drop site news. They're on Substack.
Yeah.
They're pretty good. They've uncovered a lot of stuff during Venezuela and a lot of stuff early. They were getting a lot of stuff early about the Iran stuff. Like they found that they were one of the first ones to start talking about like the down pilot and stuff, right?
Yeah, okay.
So it was starting to come through there. Even before, we're like, hey, we're going into war, and mainstream media wasn't talking about it. Like, no, hey, listen, we're going into war.
Okay.
And right now what they're talking about is financial collapse. So now I'm kind of listening to that, and that's getting pretty heavy.
Yeah.
They're one I watch. Breaking Points is one. But I do, like I earlier said, I don't watch CNN. I pay attention to everything.
Yeah.
And I think you have to.
Okay,
I can't take people serious that say, like I have a buddy that tries to argue with me, like, well, I don't listen to liberal media. Like, well, okay,
dude, I don't understand.
So you have
either.
one. So you're literally admitting to
Stuck
having
in your echo chamber. Yeah,
you have one point of view. You admit to it.
Yeah,
and you don't want to listen to it. You don't have to like.
That's insane
just
to me.
Just because you switched over to CNN doesn't mean.
I know.
You know what I mean?
It's so
but
crazy.
They are literally giving you a different point of view.
Yeah.
The only reason you don't like it is because it's a lesbian telling you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or whatever the
yeah.
thing is, right?
Yeah.
So it's but I kind of see a lot of it happening in kind of the independent media too, where it's getting a little bit confusing.
Yeah,
like,
it seems
like
that
the Candace stuff, dude. I don't want to believe that anyone else other than Tyler Robertson killed Charlie.
I'm convinced that he's not the only one. You know what
I mean?
For sure. I mean, I don't want to believe it, but
just one thing for me is me being in infantry, me being
the gun, right?
The gun.
There's no way, right?
Yeah.
That round wouldn't go through his right.
Well, not just that, but how he got it up there, disassembled recently.
Right,
everyone that fires a rifle knows that that dude must be good. How did he sight the rifle up there?
Right.
99% of the time, you take your scope off.
Oh, yeah?
You have to recite it.
Yeah, okay.
You're not going to be that accurate 99% of the time, right? Yeah. The shot wasn't like incredibly long. It's not like it doesn't have to be a sniper.
Yeah.
So it's plausible enough, and it could be, man. Who knows?
Yeah.
But to me, it's really weird that Candace was the only one getting all this stuff right at once.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she was getting a little kooky.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff is coming, but then there's a lot of stuff that wasn't true. And so, same thing happened with the first drop of Epstein files. There was the fake letter from Epstein to the Penn State coach that did a bunch of bad stuff and was locked up.
Okay, yeah, oh yeah.
So
later
that was they found out that was fake. So if you're throwing stuff in that's fake in the Epstein files, who knows when that was thrown in there, right?
Yeah, I know.
So now it's like, what else is fake? You know?
I know.
What else is
That
fake?
makes it
Now
tough,
you
dude.
cannot. Now you cannot. It's just like we're never gonna know.
I know.
We're never gonna know.
That
so even if this
sucks,
stuff comes out and
man.
it's come out and it's the most terrible things, we can't believe it because it is a terrible thing to capture these guys, execute or whatever. If it was the craziest psyop, mind whatever of all time, and let's say it was Iran, and they framed all these guys doing these disgusting things to women and children, then holy shit, that was the psyop of the century.
Exactly, yeah.
But the way things look, in any way you look at it, you know, it's something's not right.
I know, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the new the main the news is a hard thing to do, man. But the best thing to do, really, this is the best thing to do, and is just take everything, no matter what it is, and just like sit with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does it feel right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the best judge.
Yeah. I think you're right about that.
And we might not know like all the facts right up front, but. You know, it took for me a long time to speak up about Gaza because I didn't really know. I was in jail when I heard about it. I was locked up for all 2023.
Yeah.
And so all I saw was a Fox and CNN paragliding, you know, dudes. And, you know, for me it was hilarious because I've seen these dudes in sandals and dresses and man dresses. I'm like, how the fuck they pull that off? You know, I was laughing. I'm just like, there's another man. They're like, I wish I was there, you know. Like on the army side, like I wish I could have seen that, you know. Amazing. So that's what I saw, and I get out. It's 2020. It's 2023. Then I start like paying attention. It just didn't feel right.
Right. I know.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I know.
You know, it's and on both sides. You know, Israeli kids getting killed, Palestinian kills, but we saw it in HD. Yeah. And. You know, me, like I said, having a connection to the Middle East, like I have, I feel like I have a connection, like I am drawn to it. I grew up there, you know. I have friends that I spent 3.5 years out of my life there. 3.5 years out of 7 years, half of my military career there.
Right, yeah.
And, you know, I have answers that aren't, you know, questions that aren't answered yet from that. Yeah. So I have a huge draw to it. And I knew Iraqi and Afghan kids. Yeah. You know, right?
Yeah,
that
for sure.
Probably hate us now, and they should.
Yeah. And they're not, you know, that's what Jason said. He called it, what do you call it, terrorist math?
Yeah.
Where it's like you kill the father, and then the kid hates Americans for life, then his kids, and then the cousins, and then you're creating 50 other terrorists.
Dude, this school of girls that we killed. Okay, God, we can argue all day long whether we meant to or not, whether it was whether Israel or not gave us the coordinates, whether it was AI. That doesn't matter. Yeah. We just created 168 parents that fucking hate us.
That's right. That's the point. You're right. Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They hate us.
And Iran, dude, Iran is not. They're smart people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're intelligent people.
That's the Persian.
Dude, they're drones.
People,
I'm terrified for the veterans that have to fight drones, dude. Yeah. You know? They're intelligent people. Yeah. They're not what people like just a bunch of people on camels and
that's
stuff.
What they
think.
Yeah.
That's not what they are down there, dude. They're very intelligent people. Back before we destroyed, they were. Dude, their buildings, our buildings suck compared to buildings in the Middle East. You know,
I mean, they had dude. It was like a Western society for a long time.
For a long time, dude. For a long time.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, and it's terrible. Oppression from anyone is terrible, especially from your own government. Mm-hmm. I get it, but we did it. Yeah, the guy's in there because of us. Let's be honest. Let's be honest with yourself. It's because of us.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? I argue with people all the time, and like we don't need Israel as our ally. Well, the Arabs. What did we do before 1948? If you just do a simple search, zero.
Right.
Zero.
Yeah, exactly.
Fights with Arabs.
We weren't. Yeah, in the Middle East. Yeah.
We didn't care
until we linked up with Israel.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems so obvious.
It just seems so obvious, dude.
We're occupied.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just sucks because I don't know if there's a way out of that. You know. I don't know what the American government can do to.
I don't think the government, dude. I have zero trust in the American government. Yeah. It's and I speak a lot of like you're right. I do say some stuff that is outlandish, and I have to be careful because I am also a convicted felon, and could very easily be tied up in something that I shouldn't be,
dude. Yeah.
And so I think about the stuff that I write, but I think about it and I still post it because the way I word things, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this very carefully. I don't incite violence. I don't like violence.
Right. Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
Unfortunately, if you weigh out your options, like, and you go like, okay, well, this ain't working, this ain't working. What's always worked is when the empire falls. The empire always falls.
Yeah.
Right.
Always. Yeah.
And how does it get there? Right.
Wow.
through multiple things, civil war, revolution, revolt, all that stuff that turns into ugliness, right?
Yeah.
And there's many ways to do that. It could be like Iran, another country comes in and makes us, hey, overtake your government, blah blah. Or some, a lot of people that are kind of in this kind of world, like it's at some points it feels so tense and so scary that it can literally take one Molotov cocktail in the right place to do. Damn. And I don't want that to happen. No one wants that to happen. But
what?
I mean, look what's happening.
It's like a
right, a chain. Yeah, like it's
one spark could set it off.
There is a point.
It feels like that.
There is a point where it's always happened. It's happening now around the world where there is a breaking point.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it happens so fast. You and I are doing this podcast and we go outside and holy shit.
That's what it seems like it could happen.
You know what I mean? Like they took over Fort Concho.
That'd be nuts, dude.
Let's go to Fort Concho.
What's the time on there? Yeah.
Y'all been going for 45 minutes.
Okay. We got to wrap this because these cameras are overheating. But we got to come back and do a part 2, dude.
Yeah, dude.
We have to.
Yeah, for sure. I'm 100% down anytime.
Yeah.
I'm in town.
When are you gonna be in town?
Actually, let me plug this in real quick before we go.
Yeah.
Every first and second Thursday of the month, the West Texas Revival, hosted by Cat Hasty.
Talk
and
real
so
quick,
that's a big deal for us. It actually came from your. The idea came part because of a podcast that you posted about San Angelo not really caring about arts.
Yeah.
And you know me, I've been trying to push stuff. I worked through the pandemic with artists. I helped out with the Wild West Fest. I helped out with booking music during the pandemic with the Concho Per Ice House and all this stuff. And then I did these Sunday night jam sessions for a long time. And then I moved to whatever. And Kat saw your post and I saw your post. And a couple of us, her really was like, hey, we need to like prove San Angelo wrong.
Yeah,
we do care about this stuff.
That's right.
It's just it's difficult to do because we're not Lubbock, we're not Austin, we're not where all these musicians are. We're not, these College Station where it's kind of so what she wanted to do is every first and third Thursday is have this where just musicians gather, hang out.
Cool.
These young guys from Texas from ASU are coming, young people from the base are coming, people that from out of town. We got a guy from Oklahoma coming. We got a girl Libby Lynn that came from Dallas. She's pretty popular.
Yeah.
And it's just a bunch of young musicians networking, hanging out.
That's amazing. When is it?
It's every first and third Thursday. We just had it last night.
Oh,
and
how
so,
was it?
It was great, dude. It was amazing. It was amazing for it being a rodeo night. But that's something I'm doing a lot of photography for it. And it's gonna be a great thing. She's bringing in artists, and there's people selling their art. Some all kinds of stuff. Tattoo artists are in there giving tattoos. I take pictures for everyone, anyone that wants pictures.
Yeah.
So every first and third Thursday at the House of Fifi Dubois, and then my podcast. I think I'm gonna launch it Sunday.
Nice.
Reminiscentrye.com. REMNANTS.com.
Okay, I'll put that on the screen.
And Rye.com.
Okay.
And it's going to be these kind of conversations.
Dude, I can't wait.
I'd love to have you on mine, and I'd love to come back.
Dude, you got to come back. We got to do part 2.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Cool, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
dude.
thank
Appreciate
you.
it, Flip.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, guys. You heard it here. We'll see you later. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Flip, for coming on. We're definitely going to do a part 2 on this one. We got to have Flip back in here. Do a part 2, talk about some more of this stuff going on. Hope you enjoyed that. We'd love to hear your input and opinion. So don't forget to leave a comment.
We rise, we inspire. Forged by fire, turn the pressure into power. For real.